Jamie Foxx, y'all can't get a room? I swear on everything.
Wow. We here.
Take one was good.
What's
Episode
up?
9. Today we have a special guest known throughout the streets and the homes and everywhere in Charlotte. He's brought a lot to the city. He used to own. Well, I ain't gonna tell you because I be dropping dimes. You know what I mean? I don't snitch though. But anyway, I got my main man Eddie Towner in the building, aka Eddietainment.
What's good? What's going on,
up?
y'all?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man.
What's going on, baby?
I'm fine. I'm all right. I'm good.
My man,
I'm blessed. I'm here.
Man.
I'm blessed.
Okay.
My man, we're happy to have you here, brother. I'm happy to get you on,
Happy
man.
to be here.
Yeah, man.
What's
Thanks
up?
for coming on, man. So let's start off. You've been in Charlotte. You've been a focal point in Charlotte for a long time. When I first got down here, I remember going to your events. I remember going to Bubble. I remember going to Vapiano's, the old Vap when it was
old Vap.
it was like. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah. It was up.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Yo,
yes.
and
yes.
I remember
Had a great run there.
Oh my
Great
gosh!
run.
Oh my
Great
gosh!
run.
Your parties have been synonymous in the city of Charlotte, and what I love about them so much is that they're classy. You got good people. The energy is always good. Never a negative vibe from the day you start, from the point you get in there to the point you leave. How do you keep that bar so high?
Oh, how do I keep the bar so high? I will say the question back to myself. It's consistency. Always being consistent, delivering on what you promise. Don't overpromise and underdeliver.
Right.
You know, so don't set the expectations to a conservative, level. That's what I do as far as when it comes to the patrons or even the venue when they ask me, "Oh, how many you expect?" I'm not gonna. Oh, it's gonna be 10,000, 1,000. No, it's gonna be this many. But then when we over deliver, it's like, oh wow,
It's
okay.
crazy.
I know I'm eventually, if not initially, eventually do better than what was going on before I got here, or at least that's what I strive to do. And luckily, throughout my, throughout my career or me doing events, I've been blessed that it's been like that, or whatever.
So-
And just like, just affiliating with the right people and not chasing money out all the time, because there's a lot of opportunities that I did pass up that I knew didn't fit with what I believe in, or just would be trying to make a quick buck or something. But no, I'm in it for the long term.
That's one thing I noticed about you doing. My bad.
No, that's what's up. That's what's up. I mean, I could tell the way I was treated when I first got down here. It's been a year. It's been exactly a year. A couple of days ago, I've been in Charlotte, and my cousin Rod took me out with L and all the rest of them cats, and we went to one of your spots. And I remember I walked in, and you was like, "No, they getting the VIP over there by the fireplace and all that." And this they call it Southern hospitality. You definitely brought that for me, brother. And I appreciate that.
Cool.
You know what I'm saying? That's some love. And it just, the energy and everything was there. You could tell that it had more, the energy, this was more than just a regular place to have a good time. You could tell it's family. You could tell that people, they work hard for their earnings, and they're there to communicate and to build as well. And then this was nice. And then the DJ was rocking, had all that. Me and Rock got on the dance floor and everything. Dancing.
Yeah,
You was dancing that Beyonce song, bro. I don't know what you was doing. I was like, all right, enough. I walked away. I was like, all right, but he was on there with that Beyonce song was on. I was like, bro, all right, now.
Allegedly.
That's allegedly, bro. That's exactly what it was. Ain't no capping. So yeah, but no, I'm gonna give you flowers while you're here, my brother. You definitely,
Appreciate that.
I didn't know
Thank
what
you.
I was entering when I got out here, and you definitely showed a great warm welcoming to me.
That's great to hear. That's great to hear.
Absolutely.
I'm glad you
will
enjoyed
never-
yourself and I'm glad there was no issues or whatever. And like I said, in the end, that you enjoyed.
No, absolutely. Everybody, I walked in, everybody was eating right there. Everybody eating. I'm like, damn, hold on, what the dance floor over there? The fireplace over there. I'm like, bruh. I was like, okay, this is how Jersey like it. Oh yeah, that's how we like it over there.
You will never ever catch me dancing to single ladies.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
All
right.
We'll go where the Tito's takes me. So give us a little bit about your background. Where you from? How'd you start? How'd you get into the business of doing events and things like that?
Okay, the business of doing events. How did I start and everything else? Okay, we're gonna rewind back to when I was in college.
Okay.
All right. When I was in college, I was a freshman, and I roomed with 2 other guys. They were Vladimir and Patrice. Patrice was a senior. He was the guy kind of running the campus. He was real heavy throughout the city and everything else. Me and Patrice, we kind of struck a common ground, I guess.
What school was this, my bad? What school?
University at Buffalo.
Buffalo.
UB.
Okay, UB. Mm-hmm.
So we kind of we met each other just playing ping pong.
Okay.
It was on UB at UB. We were playing ping pong, UB campus. Yes, we were playing ping pong together and everything, and we just would talk and everything else. It was like the first week of school. Mm-hmm. He didn't know, but at the time I was looking for somewhere to stay or whatever, and so we would play ping pong, whatever, and I told him I was looking for a place to room, whatever. Got that. Mm-hmm. He offered, said him and his brother had a room available for me to, rent out, whatever. So I'll stay with them. Those guys, they were like always on the party scene, partying and everything else, renting like different venues. There were 2, like Little Harlem, and there was another venue called IP that they would rent out.
Okay.
They were Haitian from Brooklyn. Okay. Whatever. So they used to do a lot of dance hall, reggae type of events and everything else. So one day, Jimmy came to me, and Jimmy was like, I had a part-time job while I was in school and paid well, whatever. So Jimmy's like, Tank, my nickname is Tank. Tanky, can I borrow I think it was like $150.
Okay.
Which was a lot.
That's a lot back then.
School. Yeah.
School, that's
especially back then. Me, I'm an OG, yo. Back then, $150.
$50 is a lot.
Yeah, so he asked to borrow it, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna let you, hold $150. And he's like, I'll pay you back. We got at this party. We have to get some more alcohol, beers or whatever. I'm like, all right, cool. I gave her the money. And I didn't forget about it, but I kind of like wasn't pressed for it. Like, and he came back like a week later. And he's like, "Oh, I have your money," and he had the money like rolled up in these little bundles. Like,
right.
He started giving it to me, right? And I'm like, okay, I'm taking. I'm like, so I'm counting, and I'm like at like 600, 700, 800. I'm like, wow. This is what you got from y'all was doing a party. Right. Like now you have my attention.
Makes sense.
Now you have my attention. My full attention. So I was like, okay. So I was like, all right. So let me just pay attention to the business scene. I used to go out and just have a fun and good time. Right. But you guys, I see you getting at the bag way back then.
Way back then.
Early age. So they, would do the parties and everything else, and I had that in the back of my mind. Now rewind a little bit. When I was in high school, I was with a group called the Volvo Boys. Okay. It's like myself, a couple of my best friends, Brian Lowe, Darren Diggs, Steve Foster, Cam Martin.
Respect.
Respect.
All these guys, they used to be on the radio. R.I.P. Lenny Bosley was, in the crew as well. But and they would be on the radio station, DJing. Darren and Brian were the DJs. Me, Cam, we kind of were like the MCs, and we just, did whatever. This is in high school. So we would used to do the parties for all the different who's who around town, and then the big events for the high school kids. Right. Whatever the big, like whether it was skating arenas or whatever, we would DJ the party.
So hold on, you've been doing this since high school?
Yeah, man. A lot of people don't know a lot of things, and I never really.
No, but this is why we're here. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we can go over
so
just a little bit of it. So since high school, you've been doing it.
Yeah.
Wow.
We be talking like 16, 17. So MCing, and we in the DJs, and we doing all this. So to fast forward back to college, so I did that transaction with my roommate, Jimmy, for the money that I loaned him for his party. So then, like a year later, one of my guys that was going to one of my best friend, Brian, from high school, one of the DJs, he came back home to go to UB.
Okay.
He was at Michigan State. So he came back home to go to UB. And then my other guy, Darren, my friend Darren, was at Ithaca.
Ithaca, why, yo?
Yeah. He was. We were like, they were like, yo, let's do some parties, because I let them know what happened with that transaction. They were like, yo, we need to start doing parties or whatever. I'm like, okay, cool, let's do parties and everything. So we started looking for a place to do our parties. We used to party out in like Toronto and stuff. So that was in the back of my mind. Way back, we talking about early 90s. So
Toronto.
Yeah, so we used to be partying out there, and it was like, they were like, let's start doing our own parties. If you make that much money and we DJ, let's do a party. So I was like, okay, let's find a spot to, rent out, do whatever. But then I was thinking, like, when we were in Toronto and everything else, we used to be in these like buildings that were kind of like just buildings that they had set up with like some smoke and whatever, lights and whatever. So I was like, listen, 20 years old, right?
20-year-old Eddie.
20 years old.
Talk to me.
Now think about your 20-year-old son. I was like, yo, let's don't rent the place. I was like, why don't we look for something to lease? I was like, why don't we look for a place to lease out? 20 years old.
Very smart.
So I was like, so we started looking for different buildings or whatever. Fast forward, we found a spot in downtown Buffalo, 151 Eagle Street, 5,000 square foot. It was a boxing gym that was like sitting there for like years above this auto parts place or whatever. So it was a big open space or whatever. And so we sat down, negotiated a deal with the guys that owned the building, that ran the auto parts store downstairs, for a lease for like a year and a half, 2 years, whatever.
What was some leases going for back then?
Back then, 5,000 square feet we got for $600.
Oh my God! Yeah, no way! Oh my God!
It was $600. That was a lot of money to us. We were like, yo, $600, but we were like, okay, a party, we could do this, we can make this money back, whatever. So
$600?
Yeah, can we run it back?
And
can we go back in time?
That's not Times Square. We're talking about it's downtown Buffalo, New York. So what we did, we leased the building out. We used to rent yellow buses, go around to like 5 different college campuses, pick the kids up or pick everybody up, rent smoke machines, we rented the sound systems and everything. Okay. We hired 2 police officers downstairs at the door, everything else. We doing all of this at young age.
20 years old.
Yeah. So we had that set up. And we ran that for like a year and a half, for almost 2 years. Used to be like 500 people up in there.
Oh my goodness.
Whatever, 400 or 500. They used to be like, yo, it was so many people. Yo, people used to be coming up to me. The floor was shaking like it's about to fall in. Which back then we weren't thinking.
Yeah,
like
we weren't thinking.
It might have.
It might have
about to fall in or whatever. But I'm on tape. I'm sorry, but we used to. We had a bar. We had a bar set up.
You're
everything else, door girls, all of this stuff. So that's when I first started.
You've been an entrepreneur since you was
yes.
It sounds like my man from the owner of Dallas Mavericks. It's like a similar story.
You talking about Mark Cuban?
Mark Cuban, same
So look,
story.
look, I got a story for you real quick.
Similar, very similar.
I got a story for you real quick. So I got something. So you know Abdul, my stepfather, right? So I was living in Ballantyne, and over here in Charlotte. I was trying to buy my first house. It's about Mark Cuban. And so I went to Abdul. Was like, I got somebody that could find you property over in Ballantyne, whatever. Make a long story short. So he puts me on the phone. I'm talking to this guy, right? And I'm like, I'm just looking like this is 20 grand to put down on a house, right? You know, whatever. And he was like, yeah. So the guy talks to me. He's like, so I used to be at Indiana University. I'm like, okay, that's cool, man. Like, yeah, I'm just trying to find a house. He's like, yeah, I was Mitt Romney's campaign manager. This was my stepfather put me in. He said, I give you a funny story. I told him, and so he was like, did you whatever, real cool. He was like, I said, yeah. I said, my fraternity pledged at Indiana. It's that Alpha chapter. He's like, I said, what's your fraternity? He said Kappa. He's like, oh, you're a Kappa. Okay, cool, right? So we're talking. So he was like, yeah, I'll tell you a story, Rashawn. He's like, my first business I ever had, I had a bar. And the first bar I ever had, my partner, guess who my partner was? I said, no, who was it? It's Mark Cuban.
Wow.
Yeah.
He said we had a bar in Indiana, and we ran. He said, I want what
Going
happened.
to it. I know a little bit about it. He mentioned it. He mentioned it on an interview.
I met his partner.
They went out like a whole warehouse. And they were rocking out all their whole college years.
Yep.
And they made a lot of his money.
That was his partner.
Yeah, a lot of his money that was made was because of that. So I just bring that up to say you was already on the track. So you got so hold me hold something. I know that you got that long money, man. Pause, bro.
No.
I do.
$5 entry.
Abdul, shameless plug. That was a shameless plug for you. I had to tell a story, Abdul.
Hey, Charlotte. Hey, listen, man. You got legend status right there, man.
So after you, so you moved to Charlotte.
Moved to Charlotte.
How did you set up the
Okay.
Empire.
Okay. So
we
moved
got
to Charlotte.
stories too. We're gonna intertwine our stories.
Moved to Charlotte, and when I first moved here, kids were young, so I was more, just married, family man.
Shout out to Natasha.
Yeah, Natasha.
Shout out to Natasha. Shout out.
Tyler.
We love you. We love you, sis.
Sassy soap.
Yep.
Bang bang.
Bang bang.
So, I used to be at home a lot and just go out once in a while. When I first got here, I was getting out, getting around the scene. When I first, decided to move down here, and
had to smell the streets.
Exactly.
We had to smell the streets. I see what was going on. Yeah.
But it was like a period of years, like say from 2000 to 2007, where I never was going out or nothing like that. I was just at home, whatever. But about 2007, I started coming out a little more. Then one of my guys back from Buffalo, who used to be the morning man, similar to No Limit Larry here.
Mm-hmm.
He went to Orlando, and he was the morning man here for a number of years, and he moved to Charlotte. Mm-hmm. So I ran into him, and he's like, man, you out here, you don't do parties anymore? Because way back when, we used to buy records for him, because the radio station, they used to get the promos and copy of albums and all that.
Right.
So we used to get a lot of records from him.
He was in DJ Pool.
Yes.
DJ Pool.
We used to get a lot of records from him. Mm-hmm. So he was like, you don't do the parties anymore like y'all used to have a big. I'm like, nah, I don't do that anymore. So he used to be on me about it when I first saw him. He out here, he driving drop 6 BM rain. He all
the whole kit.
It's my guy. Shout out to DJ Hooker. So anyways, it's my guy. So he was on me about doing parties. So finally I just did a party out here at a spot in 2007, whatever. Me, him, and a couple other guys, my man Damone, whatever. We did a nice little party event or whatever. And I was like, okay, this might be, I have the itch again for it or whatever. So what I did was research the area. So I started going out more. I started seeing what was going on around here, scouting.
Scouting.
So I'm going to who's hot around here. Let me go to their parties, see what they doing, everything else, and I would go to parties and everything else, and see them out and everything. One thing I didn't really notice it, but I remember it from like what you pointed on. I remember it after the fact, but I do notice looking back on it, like when I would go out, the promoters that were here, they were treated more like the celebrities or like whatever. They were like celebrities or something. Like where I come from, the DJ was like the guy, like the kid could
Where everybody want to get in. Them ladies
but no, it was like the promoters. They follow promoters down here. Whatever.
Eddie, give him too much right now. Hold on. Stop. That's Charlotte.
Okay.
That's Charlotte. You let me ask that question.
Okay. So what do I need to go to? Okay, never mind. Let me skip over to all of that. Let me skip over that.
You can give him too much juice right now.
All right, listen. So I started scouting the different events and everything, the movement. I was like, okay. I know back in the day when my crew and the different people we used to hang around, what we used to do, we were kind of like a little bit of outsiders because we were the guys, skateboarding, snowboarding, all the just preps. We were the preps.
Yeah, experience.
Wasn't like we weren't wearing the Jordans. We was the rolled up jeans with the moccasin.
Oh yeah, so you was all
polo. We was polo.
You was all
polo.
You was all out there.
Yeah.
You was out there.
Polo. So listen. On that note, so I was trying to see that crowd, like see what they were doing, whatever. And I'm like looking at everything. Okay, so they have that lane here, whatever. I was like, all right. So after my research and all the rest of that, what I came to a point where I was like, okay, to make it in Charlotte, you have to know people. To really make it as a promoter in Charlotte, one, you have to be from here.
Okay. Okay.
Not you have to be, but that's very vital.
Or they
be from here.
Or they have to. They feel like you're from here.
Feel like you're from here.
Yeah.
One of them.
Definitely.
One of
Yep.
Two.
I agree.
Two. Some type of HBCU affiliation or something of that nature. Three would be fraternity, sorority type of. If you have that backing, then you're ahead of the game.
Yeah.
If you have that type of backing. 4, if you were at like working at a Wells Fargo for years, Bank of America, even if it was Sprint call center. But if you have working at a large company or whatever, you've been there for years, you know a lot of people, whatever, that's beneficial to you being successful.
You're giving a lot of
in
nuggets
this market, right?
You're giving a lot of nuggets right now.
Right. So guess what? I didn't have any of that.
Damn.
You know how Hove had that lyric? He said he had to thug his way through. That's my mentality, right? So I said, okay, I don't have any of that going for me, so I'm gonna have to come up and over the top. So I kind of laid out my intro to the city to what I did. This is another thing that happened. So in 2007, I said that's when I came. 2007 was the first year of CIAA here.
Oh yeah,
that was the first year of CIAA here, right? So I went out, right? I went out for CIAA. Right. My first time out was on a Friday night, and I went to the Omni.
The Omni was cracking because you got Elizabeth State and you got everything in there.
Shout out to A-List. A-List had a party. A-List had a party at the Omni.
Chuck, right?
My man Chuck.
Chuck, yep. Chuck, respect to Chuck, yep.
They had a party and I got there what I figured was early. You know, we from up top, 4 o'clock, we shutting down. So I'm like, this is like 11, whatever. I roll up in the spot thinking I'm about to have a good time. They're like, we not letting nobody else. I'm like, what? And I'm looking around. I'm like, yo, all of these people in the hallway. My guy was at the bottom of the escalator, and the party was up the escalator. And he's like, "Yo, we not letting." I'm like, and I'm looking at like hundreds in the lobby.
See,
Fly people, fly women, fly dude. That we all in the lobby.
Right. Everybody was
nobody could get in.
That's a hurtful feeling.
Eddie,
I gotta get in.
I think a lot of people moved to Charlotte because of CI.
Yeah,
and now they're here.
Yeah,
they don't understand what the golden day. They don't understand what the gold because CI. Listen, and CI was crack, and it was crack. And the thing, like being a promoter, I always watched how you move. When I first got down here, I always saw how you were and how you carried yourself, and I always had to get you on here because I know how you move and how you maneuver. Well, even the parties you had at CI, you used to have like what 5 or 6 parties a day.
12.
12.
Oh, wait, not a day, not 12 a day, not 12 a day. Wait, 5 a day, maybe 5 or 6 a day. Maybe 5 or 6 a day.
Let me hold
That's
some. Old money, man.
You was doing 5 a day.
My
And I remember how you used to usher me. You'd be like, yo, 12, 3, 5, 6 come in. All right, we good. Sunday, like it was moving, and you never showed a crack. Like you never showed like you was like
I was losing my mind behind this.
You probably
I was losing like 10
Talk
pounds.
about it.
I lost 10 pounds
Talk about
for
it.
CIAA.
Yeah, talk about it.
I used to love. I had a CIAA diet, yo. I knew I could lose weight during CIAA because I miss meals and I wouldn't think about it because I'm chasing the bag and I'm running the party and I'm sleeping. I'm up with all of this and I'm not miss. I might eat that one little whatever oatmeal for that whole day or whatever it is. And just going all around. And after it was over, and I get on the scale, I'm like, wow. I lost so much weight.
Well, listen, I need to get on some of them diets, man. Can we wind the tape, man? Damn, brothers.
Yo, so for the record right now, Charlotte, forget the California diet. You gotta go to CIAA diet.
Yeah, I need that. CIAA diet. So we had that. Can we do that real quick before the holiday, for the New Year's drop? I did a week.
So you had all these parties, right? You're doing all these parties. You're doing like 3 parties a day. I remember because I used to go to a lot of them joints.
Okay.
Then you had switched and you opened a bar called Sage.
I sure did.
What was that like? What was that experience like? You had switched from being a promoter to being an owner.
Entrepreneur.
And it's totally different.
It is.
It's totally different.
It is totally different. Running a restaurant, and I've been warned. Shout out to my man Barry Vernon.
Barry. Yo, hold on. Yo, Barry. Hold on. Yo, let me tell you something. Barry, I miss you, man. I love you. I ain't seen you in a long time. Barry used to always show me love when I go on the stage. If I didn't see Eddie, I saw Barry. Barry was always there holding me down. That's why I had to joint with Clarence.
Yeah. Barry reached out to me to partner up with Sage or whatever.
Yep.
Actually reached out to me to promote it, but I was like, is it an opportunity for ownership? He's like, yeah. So I was like, well, how much and what? So we had a number, whatever it was, and I gave him that and 33%, whatever. And later on down the line, he brought in D. Autry and
Autry, respect to Autry. He owns a stadium.
Yeah.
That's Stadium Autry.
Emmanuel. Emmanuel also was there, my guy. So we were running the spot. We all, no matter how long you've been in this game or whatever, you always could still learn. And I learned a lot there doing that. We were trying to figure it out, keep it afloat, everything else. But it was an experience, 3 years. I was there for 2.5. Crazy thing is, when I got out, I got out in February. I was trying to get out like October of 2019. So I'm trying to get out, trying to get my severance. Like, yo, just give me this much back. I'm going, I'm out. But then, the guys were like, slow months now, whatever it was. They were like, let's just wait to CIAA. Everybody knows CIAA is going to be
pop.
big,
Yeah.
whatever pop. 2020 CIAA definitely was my biggest year. So listen, so
Break it down.
they were like, let's just, part ways after CIAA. We give you, boom, the buyout, whatever. So I was like, all right, cool. I could wait. So when, after, NBA All-Star, all the rest of this stuff, CIAA 2020 came. The crazy thing about CIAA 2020 and this whole situation with me partying with them, right after CIAA, I couldn't come and buy out severance. I got sick as hell.
Okay.
I didn't know.
What?
I was sick as hell, bedridden. I have never felt like this before.
It was COVID?
Didn't know.
Yeah.
Nobody knew
Okay.
at
Nobody
this
knew,
time.
yeah.
Okay, that's right. It was going into March.
We talking about February, late February,
2020.
whatever. Yeah, whatever. Nobody knew about COVID till the third week in March.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Oh,
No, listen. So after CIAA, I was sick as hell. I haven't felt like this ever in life. I'm like bearing. I was like, yo, I can't go get my check. I can't. But I want to go get this bag, of course. Check whatever, but I can't because I'm bedridden, sick. So then I come down with this. I didn't have it. But anyways, I had symptoms. I'm sick. The chills, all of this. And I'm like, yo, I'll be in there. I can't come to get the check. Whatever, fast forward.
If I was Jamaican, I'd tell you just get the ginseng root. So they fix everything with ginseng root. You got the ginseng?
Elderberry, baby. Elderberry.
But listen,
The Philly homies. know
let's
about
say it was
elderberry.
like 4 or 5 days after I was initially supposed to come get the check. I finally was like, I was still like, but I'm gonna go get my check.
Right.
Got the check. Parted ways, whatever. Then boom, like a week and a half. I think I came back in there, did something, whatever. But like a week, 2 weeks later, then that's when that game against Toronto, against somebody, something happened. Utah. I know Utah was involved. And they were like, yo, they're calling the game because of something. And then boom, like 2 weeks after that, everything shut down. So I got out,
Eddie,
right?
Right.
I got out,
Yeah. Everything had to shut down. Nobody was getting no money.
So Eddie, I'm gonna tell you some real. You know this. We had opened a cigar bar at the same time.
Okay.
I was happy to get out before COVID hit because I would have had that. You gotta pay the rent, you gotta pay everything.
Yes,
It's
yes,
different
all
from
of
doing events. And but like one thing I remember is that we had CIAA and we had All Star Weekend that year. All Star Weekend, I thought I would know.
I lost my ass.
I lost my ass on something. And I'm gonna tell you why. And nobody knows this. A lot of local businesses in Charlotte lost their ass All Star Weekend because the NBA would buy out everything. So you can't. There's no way. Like if you're sitting here and you're like, yo, I had Mr. C, I had Jim Jones, I had.
Don't matter.
It does not matter. The NBA runs everything.
NBA
bro.
was like on
They
some
would kill
John
this show.
Gotti.
Oh.
No, pause. Let me tell you
Yeah,
about how
let's
the
get it
NBA.
clear.
Wait, hold
Let's
on.
get it clear.
Hold on.
Let's make it clear.
Let me tell you how the NBA worked.
Okay, let's get it
So
clear.
like CIAA, right? When they used to come in, they'll buy out rooms and do different stuff, whatever, to try to like get people to come in and pay the money to go to the games and do this and that. But they had to release those rooms like a few weeks beforehand. Release the rooms, people come in, buy the hotels, do all the rest of that. The NBA 2019, what they did, and I had that spot Sage in 2019.
Yep.
They came in, they bought out all the rooms, and they didn't release them. So basically, if you have a hotel that's 70% occupied, 30% of the rooms don't have anyone in them. NBA said, I don't care.
Yeah, we're still getting
And we're not releasing them. We're gonna just buy this out, and we want all the rooms. And Charlotte is not a city like New York, ATL, where they have a lot of hotels like that.
Yep.
And they did that, right? I'm gonna tell you what else they did.
I ain't know. What
Do you remember Sage? Right? You remember that big parking lot in front of the Spectrum?
They took that building and turned
no.
Okay, right. What?
Do you remember the big parking lot that sits in front of it?
Yeah.
And the Spectrum is right there, which
there.
is the center of the city, right?
Yeah.
So we thought we was good.
Yeah.
NBA bought the parking lot.
Yeah, for Puma.
Whoever they's like, nobody can park here.
Yeah.
That was our only parking to get.
Oh, they said you were parking. Oh.
That was our only parking. They was like, we buying out the parking. Then not just to us. They did that into other people. They was buying out the parking lots. They were buying out everything, the hotels.
Wow.
Listen, I had people from Jamie Foxx team calling me. I'm like, Jamie Foxx? Y'all can't get a room? I swear on everything.
Wow.
And they're ignorant
Not just him too. It was like another big celebrity. I'm like,
so I tell you. So Eddie, Carl Malone called our bar because he wanted to showcase his I think his liquor in there. But I'm like, this is North Carolina. You gotta have the sticker on the tag.
Yeah, it's a whole different laws.
You can't just come in with you know. They didn't understand that stuff back then, bro. Yeah.
So the NBA thugged they way, like they shut down then they turned around and they had events, and even in the epicenter everywhere for free. Like y'all can come in here, we got celebrity, we got everything y'all need. So don't even pay attention to those guys trying to throw parties. No, because we gonna give you everything for free.
You need.
So I never lose that much money than NBA All-Star. Luckily on Saturday I made a lot back.
Right.
With my man Lonnie B, Terrence J, SNS, we did a party. R.I.P.
SNS is making a lot of money. He got me too.
All of that. Shout out to S. R.I.P. Bismarcky. We did parties on Saturday, day and night. I had it very successful. But leading up to that, they just were doing so many different tactical movements that just
it was different.
Everything, yeah, it was. I said I would never try to do nothing.
Wow.